Hello, everybody. I was messing around there at the last minute and almost forgot to hit the button. We almost didn't go live. Anyways, here we are. Welcome. I am Michelle Solis from This Must Be Ink. Welcome to my Stamp and Sip workshop where the weekend starts early. I don't always stamp on a Friday night, but when I do, I stamp and sip with all of you. So tonight we are going to be talking about some soft pastels or Stampin' Up's Soft Pastel Assortment. It is a product that you can still get. They've changed the colors a little bit, but you can still get this product. So because I gave it away last week or the week before to someone, they said, oh, you got to inspire me of how to use it. So I pulled mine out and started using that this week and have come up with some pretty cards, I think. And I just wanted to show you some techniques with that. So if I give them away again, or if you decide to try them yourself, you'll know what to do with them. All right, so everybody take a sip of whatever you brought to drink tonight, and then we will get started. Cheers. I am drinking. Oh, it just went down the wrong side. La Suerta. Now I can't remember what it's called, but it's a sangria, and it's spicy. It has like a little bit of spice to it. It's very good. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. All right, so let's go down here, and we'll get started. All right, bring this over here. Okay, so what I showed you, the samples that I showed you, were this one with the sunflower 3D embossing folder. This is a background that I made a couple of weeks ago. And then I decided when I was playing with the pastels, I was like, oh, I bet it would be really cool on the raised areas of this image. So I think that you can hopefully see the colors. There's some crushed curry and some granny apple green in there. And this is on early espresso paper. So you can see some of the color on there. And it just basically looks like chalk, because essentially that's what pastels are. It's like a colored chalk. Okay, so there's that one. And then this one I also made a couple weeks ago on this is the backside of one of the Halloween papers. And so again, I did some crushed curry, and then I put some Gorgeous Grape, I think it is. Yes, Gorgeous Grape in the middle, and then some granny apple green leaves there as well. So that was a little harder to see unless you're in person, but it's got a lot of texture and some color there. Okay, so I do have another sheet of that. I did this, I embossed with the folder on the Secret C paper. So this is the embossing folder. I did a full sheet. This is 5 by 8.5. Pretty full sheet with this sunflower print. So let me just show you real quick how you would do this on a 3-dimensional folder. So these are the pastels. The Soft Pastels Assortment comes with, the one that I have comes with Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy. Doesn't that look really bright for Night of Navy? And Poppy Parade. Okay, so the ones that they've got on the website now that you can purchase have the same color. They've got Coastal Cabana and Daffodil Delight. Does have Gorgeous Grape and Granny Apple Green, but it's got Flirty Flamingo, Mossy Meadow, Oh, this is Mossy Meadow. Sorry, I forgot to say that one. Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. So instead of the crushed curry, they've got the flirty flamingo, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, still going to be pretty. And actually, I wish maybe I'll have to buy that one too, because I did wish that I had a pink in here and I didn't have a pink. Okay, so these are the colors that I've got. And honestly, it limits you a little bit. I mean, obviously it's art. You can make things whatever color you want. But I found myself, I'm a little literal. So I found myself a little bit like I had to think inside the box here with the colors. So I used the crushed curry, which is the dark. Actually, let's just use Daffodil Delight because that's the one that you would be able to get. So what I did was I just put it down flat to the embossing fold, to the paper, embossed paper, and I just dragged it along the surface. And just like if you were dragging an ink pad along the surface, you're going to start to pick up some color. On those raised surfaces. And I don't have a brown, so I'm going to just do the yellow right in to the center of my flower there. And then here again, I've got another flower. So I'm just going to drag that over this flower. And this one, although I'm going to leave a little bit, there's some stem there that we might want to do some green. Okay, so you get the gist of it. You're just going to drag this over the flat edge of it over your embossing folder. So then for the green, I'll pick this up and we'll be able to do the leaves. And then this part right here for this flower. Some leaves over here. A lot of flat surface on the leaves. Okay. This is a little flower right there. And then we've got some green over here for this leaf and stem. So there you go. So you're just going to drag that on there and get color where you want it. And then you will find that you have a lot of dust. So I just hit it just like you would the embossing folder. Get that dust out of there. And then you're just left with the colors. Hi, Kathy. So now how do you keep the color from rubbing right off? That's a good question. So you can use, like this one, you can see if I rub it, the color is staying on there. So you can use some clear sealer if you've got like a clear, that comes in a spray, or you can just use hairspray. So that's what I did. Let me just show you. I've just got a hairspray and I put mine in a box. I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but so that it doesn't get all over everything else on my desk, I put it in the box and then I will just shake up my hairspray and I just do some spritzes across the paper. So I just want to get that chalk basically to stick to the paper. So you can see it's gotten really dark. We're going to let it dry because this is wet now. We're going to let it dry and we'll see what it looks like in a little bit once it gets dry. Okay, we'll put that aside. Okay, so tonight I thought we would make a background with the, this is another 3D embossing folder. This one is, I wanted to say perfectly plaid, but it's forever plaid. Oh, look, you can see it's already starting to lighten up. So you'll definitely, once this dries, we'll see the colors. All right, so we're going to use the forever plaid. Oh, let me go back down here. And we're going to do some color on the forever plaid. And this is going to be our background for our card tonight. So I was going to match this up with the Perfectly Pairs set. So we're going to color some pairs as well with pastels. But let's make the background first. All right, so I'm going to use some Granny Apple Green. This is Poppy Parade, but I think it looks kind of orange when I use it, and some Daffodil Delight. So what I'm going to do is I just want to get color on these raised lines here. So I'm not going to drag the full length of this down. I'm just going to do the edge of the top of it. So for these big lines, I'm going to make them green. So I'm going to just drag my pastel down the line to make them green. I'm going to do each one of these large raised lines green. And then I'm going to do the ones that go across in the same green. Okay. Then I'm going to do some yellow. There are some smaller lines that are raised kind of in between. So I'm going to pick a couple of those. Oh, I'm not as good as doing these little ones as I was with the big ones. That was much easier. So we'll pick a few of these going across. And then going down. And remember, it's art. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be cool. All right, so then I've got some, what did I say? Poppy Parade. And so we've got a few more lines that are going across that are raised. So we'll get those. And then these going down. I don't know why plaid always makes me think of back to school. Maybe because I had a uniform when I was in school. All right, so there we go. So that's going to be our background with the green, yellow, and Poppy Parade. There we go. So now if you're upset by having some little chalk in between here, what did I do with my cloth? You can take a microfiber cloth and you can kind of clean that up a bit. You could even use, in a really small space, you can use your finger or you could use a Q-tip to get those lines a little more perfect if you'd like. Okay, but just remember it's art. It's not going to be perfect. All right, so there's our background, and I'm going to spray this background as well. Put my box in here. Okay, and then we're just going to let that dry. When it dries, it should look like this because I did this one earlier and I sprayed it. And now you can see that you can still see the colors on there. There you go. You can see the colors now. And this one, when it lightens up, when it dries, it will lighten up to be like this. All right, so we're going to just set that aside to dry. All right, now let's work on our image for the front of our card. We got a piece of white here. So what I was going to do is show you, let me show you this one. So this image was done with the pastels as well. But what I did with this is I watercolored with the pastels. So I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques here, and then we'll cut out the pairs to use. We're going to use the pairs tonight. Okay. So this one was made with the Charming Day set. This was this image here from the Charming Day set. And then this embossing folder in the back was the damask or damask background 3-dimensional folder. And it was fresh freesia, and just very lightly I went over it with the gorgeous grape. So it picked up some of the gorgeous grape color there. Okay, so that's where that one came from. And tonight we're going to try to do this with the pears. So first we're going to stamp our pears. We are going to use StazOn, because if you're watercoloring, you want to use StazOn. Your memento will bleed. So you're going to use StazOn. I feel like I need a refill there, and I can't get a hold of one. So there's our pear. And then we're also going to do our leaves down here. All right, that came out pretty good. All right, so I'm going to show you. Actually, I should have just done that twice. Let me do this one more time so I have a second image for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you two different techniques there. All right, so we'll get rid of our ink. Okay, so to watercolor with this, there's two options. So the first one I'm going to show you, you can bring your pastel right into your image. Let me go back down again. Sorry. I just can't yell at me because I can't hear you. You can bring pastel right into your image. Just color it right in there. And then what you'll do is get your water painter. So let's get a water painter. Do you have any water in you? Find one with some water. There we go. And I'm going to use just a block. Because I don't want to go right to my paper. Get rid of some of that ash there. I don't want to go right to my paper with the water, because this I'm using just regular basic white. If you were using shimmer paper or watercolor paper, that would be better. And you would, but if you get too much water on the basic white, it's going to start to pill. So I'm going to put some water on my block here, just so I can just use a little bit at a time. So we're just going to get the tip wet. And then I'm going to go right to my image and I'm just going to pull that color right around that leaf. What I really love about this, it's different than when you're watercoloring with ink because when it dries, it feels like chalk. It's got that chalky feeling to it, and it's softer. I think the color is softer. Okay, so that's one way to watercolor with your pastels. To just put the color in there and then spread it around with the water. The other way is to actually put some pastel, um, some of the chalk onto your block and create the color. So what I did was I used I don't know what you call this end of your, take your pick tool. It's like the little spatula end. Take it to your pastel and you can just kind of shave off some color and it'll go right here on your block. And then you can take your water and mix it in and create yourself this pigment on your brush. And then you can go again right to your image and color it in. So you get an even softer color there. And then again, you can build up the color by adding more. And we'll just put our first coat on here. And then I might get a few more shavings. I can make it a little darker. And then go back in and highlight the areas that I want to be darker. Okay. And then you will have to let it dry a little bit before you cut it out and use it. All right, so now our big pear, we're going to do this. I think we're going to do some yellow and green. Let's get some yellow on here. I've already got green on my brush. Clean it off a little bit. And let's get some yellow. I mean, your pear is going to be kind of a yellowy green, so it doesn't really matter if it's kind of bleeding together. I don't really know a lot about pears, except that I think they're delicious. I know there are a bunch of different kinds. I'm not sure if they're different, really different colors. I know there's greenish and kind of a yellow. Beyond that, I'm lost. But my pear is going to be kind of a yellowy green. Okay, so we're going to just blend in this yellow. And it's really going to look like water painting. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of this green. Be a little more green, maybe up at the top of it if it wasn't quite bright. All right, what do you think? Hard to see the color there. Did I hairspray on the watercolor? No, I'm not hairspraying on the watercolor. The water itself will make the pastel stick to the paper. You won't need to water, you won't need to hairspray that. You're only going to spray it with some kind of a sealer if you're using the pastel right to the paper and leaving it like that. Okay, so there's my pear and my little leaves. All right, then to clean this up, super easy. I'm just going to wipe it off with my little rag. Of course, we could wash it. All right, we're going to just set that aside. So now we want to cut out our pear. By the miracle of TV, oh, I'm putting this on the wrong thing. By the miracle of TV, I do not have one. So we are going to have to cut it out. All right, where are my dies? So here's our little pear die and our leaves. Oh, doesn't want to come out. All right, let's get this on here. These are just about dry. So I didn't use a lot of water. And then our pear. And get another little piece of tape. All right, let me just die cut that real quick. Okay. So here's my little pear. And now I know that you can't tell from where you are, but when this dries, you get that chalky feeling to it, which I think is really amazing. Okay, and then here's the little stem that we're going to use. All right, let's put these aside. All right, so one other technique, another thing that you can do is create a background with Versamark and pastels. So let me show you these. This one I created with, what did I do with them? This stamp from the Beautiful Motifs. It's this stamp that creates this little pattern. And so I stamped it in Versamark for all the way around the edge, kind of like a frame. And then I added my pastel color to that. And then I just I didn't like the white in the middle. So I blended some, I think I used boho blue in the middle, and then put on my label and my little die cut there. So that was this technique on the frame or the outside edge of your card. Then I liked that so much, I thought, oh, let's do the whole thing. So I stamped the entire front of this piece with that stamp. And then I made that my card front with a little frame and another die cut. And I think that just came out amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I love it. So I'm going to, all right, so we're going to take that stamp. Okay, oh, I almost got it stuck to my thing. I would have lost it, and I'd be like, where did my stamp go? All right, so, oh, here's my sunflower paper after it's dried. You can see the color is much brighter and that it won't rub off now. So I can use that on a card and it will stay put. All right, so we're going to set that aside. Okay, so for this technique, we're going to use Versamark. Here we go. And I'm going to use Just Versamark, we're not going to emboss. We're just going to use Versamark ink. So we will put this onto a block. And I'm going to get my colors of my pastels ready. So what did I use? I used the green, the Coastal Cabana, so Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, and this was Night of Navy. Okay, so I'm going to get, trying to stay organized and not have to go back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my colors ready. So I've got Coastal Cabana. I'm going to get some color on my block here. So I'll be ready. Because the Versamark, if it gets dry, it won't let anything stick to it. So we're going to get some Coastal Cabana there. And then we're going to get some Granny Apple Green over here. So we're ready to roll. And then let me get another block and we'll do Night of Navy over here. Looks more purple to me. But they say it's Night of Navy, so I'll have to believe them. Okay, and for this technique, we're going to use a sponge dauber. All right, so now we're ready. So we're going to go with our Versamark. We're going to do the entire page. Okay, this is going to be difficult for you to see where I'm stamping, but I can pretty much see where I'm stamping with the Versamark. So I'm just going to repeat this across the page. And overlapping it just a little bit. And I think of all the techniques, this is my favorite. Oh, I missed a spot in there. But that's all right, because we're going to put a sentiment on it. It'll be fine. We always make it work, right? Okay, so we should have the pattern all the way across the card. So now what we're going to do is take our sponge dauber, and we're going to start doing some color. So I'm going to pick up some green, and I'm going to go right onto the page. I'm just going to start blending the color onto the page. And it's amazing, isn't it? I love this technique. It's like magical. Just lightly blend across the page. Okay, and then my next color is the Coastal Cabana. Look how beautiful that is. Ugh, I just love it. And then we're going to get some Night of Navy. I don't know. It looks purpley blue to me. It's beautiful, whatever it is. So pretty. Yeah, it's kind of like an ombre. Hey, Cynthia. Yeah, so it's kind of like an ombre effect. And then you're going to use that as a background for your card. So again, I'm going to just get the dust off of there. This one you won't have to spray either because it's Versamark. So the Versamark is sticky and it's holding down your color there. So you won't have to spray this background either. Okay, so for this card, let's just finish this one up. I have this little frame that we can put on here and our little fern. Get our little details out of our fern here. Maybe not. Let's stay in there. All right, so I'm just going to glue this on. And it looks like you worked so hard on this card and it was so easy. That's what I really love about it. There we go. And then we can just put a couple little dots of glue on our fern piece to hold it down. You don't need a whole lot, just a little bit on some of the leaves. Just enough to be strategic. I don't know why I'm so far out of camera tonight. I'm so sorry. There we go. And then we just need a little sentiment. So let's grab one of our little scraps that I like to keep on hand for my sentiments. Let's do thinking of you. How's that? Do I have a block? Oh, yeah, one moment. How I used up all the blocks I had out here. But somehow I did. All right, so what did I say? This was Night of Navy. So let's find Night of Navy and do our sentiment. Although that's why I chose boho blue last time, because I just felt like it was a little bit lighter than this Night of Navy. Maybe it's more misty moonlight. Anyway, this will go. We will trim this up. And get that right on there with some dimensionals. And there we go. And then I'll finish this up and put it on the Facebook page when I have it mounted on the background, because I'd like to do, I think, some navy in the background to make this a full card. Hi, Carol. Okay, so that's the Versamark technique there. And then let's go back to our pear. And we made our background here. That's a little curly now because we sprayed it with hairspray. So we're going to uncurl it a little bit. Okay, so where's our card base? I'll cut this down a bit. We're going to do 4 1/8. By 5 3/8. And we should be able to mount that to our card base. It's a little curly, but we're going to work with it. And I'm actually going to put this down so it's more flat so I can see what I'm doing here. It's a very small border I left myself. There we go. All right, so that's my Secret C, and I highlighted it with the Granny Apple Green, Poppy Parade, and Daffodil Delight, which for some reason is reminding me of back to school. I don't know why. And then I'm going to put my little sentiment focal piece here that I cut out with the Textured Notes dies. And then we'll use our little pear. Oh, I forgot to stamp it. Forgot to stamp it. Is it too bumpy? Maybe not. Let's try it. We were going to do Hello Friend. All right, everybody, deep breath, deep breath. Take a deep breath. Hold your breath. Cross your fingers. See if we can make this happen here. Oh, it is a little bumpy. Oh, perfect. All right, so I'm not even going to try to do friend. I'm just doing hello. Perfect. And then we're going to get our little pear on here with some dimensionals again. And his little leaves with also some dimensionals. And we'll just put a tiny bit of glue on the end so he'll stay where we put him. And then to make him look more like this layout, we're going to do a little bit of ribbon. And I don't have any Granny Apple Green, but I think this is Lemon Lime Twist, which is going to work. So we'll make a little bow. Cut that off. I don't know. Do we want the bow up here? Oh, it's so cute. Maybe it's too big. Should I put the bow on the fruit or should I put it down here like the other one? Can you guys type fast enough to tell me? What do you think? Down here? I liked the one down here because it had a little indentation there for in the flowers. But I think I might like this one up here. Oh, bottom, Kathy says bottom. All right, we're doing the bottom. One moment, please. I need to find some glue dots. Oh, here. Find a little glue dot. Stick that on. And there is my bow. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed learning some techniques tonight with pastels. I hadn't played with these in a long, long time, so I'm glad. I think Amy Matthew was the one that won them, and I'm glad that she said something to me. It made me pull them out and play with them some more. All right, so here is the card we did tonight with that layout. And then I didn't glue this one together, did I? because I was going to do a backing and I lost my other ones. Okay, here are the ones that I created as samples with the Versamark technique. And then here's the one from tonight. I'm going to put a mat on that. And then here's our backgrounds that I showed also as a sample. And then the background that we did tonight with the Secret Sea and the pastels. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that. And you learned some techniques with the pastels. All right. Oh my goodness, I almost pushed the wrong button and stopped the whole thing. That would have been like, bye. All right, so that's it for me tonight, guys. I can hear my husband cooking. I don't know what he's making us, but it'll be good, whatever it is. I'm starving. Okay, so that's it for me tonight. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I have to tell you that I will not be here for the next 2 Fridays because I'm going on a cruise. My first cruise ever. I'm going with my daughter for her 40th birthday, and we're doing Mexico and Belize and Rotan. I don't know. It's my first cruise. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Hopefully I don't get seasick and my husband has a good time. Those are the 2 things I'm worried about. All right, so that's it for me. I will try to get some posts up there to give you some inspiration while I'm gone. But in the meantime, stay crafty, my friends, and have a good weekend.